Hello, welcome to Learn, Do, Become Radio. I'm April Perry. We're here to help people who are overwhelmed by the details of life to create simple systems so they can do what matters most. Today, we're talking about how to handle the bazillion one-off tasks that you need to do. And if you feel like, I have this big, long task list and I don't even know how to get them done, then we're going to cover that today. We talk a lot about current projects and next actions related to those. And those feel actually pretty good for most people. Like you think, oh, yes, I have this big project to do. So I break it down to smaller steps. I mean, that's kind of obvious, right? But sometimes we have these one-off tasks that aren't part of a project. They're also not part of a routine. It's not like, oh, I'm doing laundry, because that's something I would do as a routine. There's also no deadline, and they'll take more than 2 minutes. So we can't just use that 2-minute rule where if you can do it in 2 minutes or less, you just get it done. So I'm going to give you 3 examples that came in from members of our community who were asking, like, what are we doing with these? So here's the 3 that they asked about specifically. Where do I put something like a survey I need to fill out? Take more than 2 minutes. How about returning a keyboard I borrowed to someone? And the next one is, how about finding a place to bring a few boxes of papers that need to be shredded? Okay. So I love these 3 examples because, they're not projects, they're not routines, there's no deadline, they'll take more than 2 minutes. And sometimes we can feel like we just get pecked to death by a duck. Have you ever heard that? It's just like one thing after the next, and they're just little, but they just overwhelm us. So I'm going to share some solutions, and there's 4 options, 4 different solutions that could work for all these. And so I'll just share what they are. And then you can hopefully just find one of them that works for you and move on with these types of one-off tasks. So option number 1 is often the next actions list can just cover these. So a next actions list is a weekly list, but you look at it during the day based on the context that you're in. So I have a little bookmark in my planner, and it has home, computer, errands, phone, and to discuss. Those are the contexts. And then I write down these one-off tasks on that list. So I would put the survey I need to fill out. I'd put that in the home category. Returning a keyboard I borrowed would be an errand. And finding a place to take the boxes to shred, I'd probably do computer because I would need to, look online to find that. So you often could just put them on a next actions list. But now let's go into option number 2. Let's say your next actions list already has 10 things on it or 15 things on it, and you're thinking, I don't have time to do all of that this week, and I don't want to keep adding to my next actions list because then I have 50 things on it, and then I have to keep rewriting them every week, and I never get them done. I'm always looking at this big, long list. So we don't want that. I want that next actions list to feel very, very simple. But this other option is you can create a next in line next actions list. So it could have the exact same context, but it's like the next layer, things that in the way you're going to either see it is you're going to look at it during your weekly review and perhaps graduate some items from next in line onto your weekly next actions list. Or if it's a digital list or a paper list you want to just keep with you, then when you are out running errands, if you've already done all the errands on your weekly next actions list, you can now go to your next in line next actions list and say, oh, are there any other errands? And you can just look at that context and pull from there as needed. If there's something you absolutely don't want to forget that's on this next in line list, then you do need to have either a routine to look at it during your weekly review, or you need to set some kind of calendar reminder to go look at it and update it, because you don't want random things on random lists all over the place. But having another tier is actually really helpful. We do the same thing with our current projects. We have a next in line list. We have a someday list. So that way you're only looking at a very short list of current projects, but everything else is there for you if you need it. Option number 3, this is where you can just put it right on your calendar. So as you continue to organize your life, you'll typically have fewer random tasks that aren't routines or projects. And I, do everything we talked about today, usually just my next actions list I would use. But sometimes I just put the task directly on my calendar on a day that makes sense. And the way that I do this is I put it into Asana. That's the project management tool, ASANA. And I add a little deadline. I'll say, I think I should do this Friday. And then when Friday morning comes, I open up Asana. I see what I have that I've assigned myself for that day. And if I still want to do it that day, I actually write it on my Franklin planner for the day. And if I'm like, oh, actually, I don't feel like doing that today, or I have other stuff I need to do, then I might just change the date on Asana so it comes to me at a different time. So this has been super, super helpful. I don't put a ton of tasks on here, but using the 3 examples that we started with, let's say there's a survey that I really do want to fill it out. It's not just one like, oh, the grocery store wants me to look at a random survey. Usually I don't do those, but if it is a survey, I think, yes, I'm going to spend 10 minutes on this survey, then I might say, hey, I'm going to have some free time on, Thursday. I'll just go ahead and make a little calendar reminder in Asana and it'll pop up on Thursday. And then I can pick which time during the day I want to work on it. Or that returning a keyboard, I might look at my calendar and say, oh, I'm going to be driving out in that direction Saturday morning. Let me just put on my Saturday list, right? That type of thing. So you can just go right to the calendar. And then the final option that I'm just going to share today is you may just want to create routines that would incorporate these types of one-off tasks. So I'll give an example for each. For something like this survey, it's relatively small. Like I have a survey right now in my email, my immediate action folder in my email, and I'm just going to do it before I close up for the day, okay? So I could have a little routine that at the end of every day before I, shut my computer and go spend time, with the family or have dinner or whatever, I complete any small little tasks that I have either sitting in my email, or if it's a paper, I might have it just sitting in my planner. Like today I needed to fill out like a graduation card I was giving to someone. And so I already had it stamped and addressed and had a little gift card in there. I just need to write the note. So I'm not going to write that down on my next actions list or my calendar because it's just a note card and it's sitting in my planner. I'm just going to have a routine to finish that note, put it in the mail, fill out the survey, just a few things at the end of the day before I close up. That way, none of these things have to be written down, but they'll all get done because it's part of a routine. For the keyboard example, you could have a routine to always load items in the car when you're going to need to take them somewhere. And then you could have an errand day where you drop all those items off. So let's say I ordered something on Amazon and then I want to return it. Like our Kohl's lets us return Amazon items without having to box them up. I think that's amazing. So I could say, okay, I'm going to put my Amazon returns in the box. I'm going to put this keyboard in the box. I'm going to put this birthday gift in the box I was going to send to a friend or whatever. So now my car always has the box ready with these items. I also, though, would note them on the day where I have the routine, I run errands, or at least just say, hey, make sure I run the errands. These things are in the box, just as a little reminder, unless you 100% know every week I run the errand and the box is right there. So something like that reduces the amount of decision making because you just have a routine for it. And then that final one with shredding. So one of the things I've loved is as my teenagers learned to drive and they became super helpful to me. They became my assistants and my good friends. And so, well, they've always been my friends, but you know what I mean? So Spencer, for example, he loves to drive and he is able to drive his car. And I can say, hey, Spencer, could you run this errand for me? Could you go take this here? Or he did my grocery shopping the other day and he's like, man, how do you know where everything is in the grocery store? It was so cute. So I gave him a list of everything I needed. He texted back and forth a few times, make sure he's getting the right stuff. But if you have children as they get older, it's so awesome. Sometimes you can just delegate, or even, 10, 12-year-olds, you could ask them to do some online research for you. Hey, could you find a place that lets me, shred papers by the box or whatever? So many times you can find help, whether it's children or whether it's getting maybe a college student nearby who is looking to do some extra work, wants to be hired. Maybe you do work in a place where you have an assistant and you could delegate more. But I'm just finding getting better at delegating has really helped to alleviate all the one-off tasks that I need to do personally. So, okay, there you go. Those are just a few ideas for very, I think, manageable solutions to help with these one-off tasks. And if you have a one-off task that you don't think fits into these, or you have a question about it, come leave it in the comments. We're happy to have a conversation there and help you out. And if you're brand new to Learn, Do, Become, and you don't have a Command Central yet, and you're thinking, I would love this heaven you're talking about, having no piles and peace and calm, come to learndobecome.com/step. We would love to have you there. Okay, thanks so much. Have an amazing day. And thanks for being here with us at learndobecome.com.